Hello, KA Sports boxing fans. It's a big weekend for boxing. There are several top promoters and medium and small promoters all have boxes in the biggest show of this year, actually, I think, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I mean, you all know what I'm talking about. We have the Frank Warrens, the of Queensberry, the Eddie Hands of Matchroom, Top Ranks, Bob Arum, and any other medium promoters and small promoters like DiBella. Everybody almost is in Riyadh. So who are these people? Who are promoters? What do they do? How do they make fights happen? Today we are going to dive into the basics of promotions. But I have a guest with me today, an African promoter who has had success in promotion in Africa, who is going to share some of his experiences with us. I think it's going to be a very educative experience. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right with you. All right. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back. So, who is a boxing promoter? And I think most people that are watching this, you must like boxing. That's why you're on our page and you like it, right? So it's an individual or organization who organizes and promotes boxing matches and events. It's very simple, but oftentimes they have a significant influence on boxing. If we talk about, I just spoke about the Eddie Hands and Frank Warren. Um, when the Saudis came in, they they are the ones that are essentially making the decision. They play crucial roles in shaping the careers of boxers, and of course, creating high-profile events like the one that we have here. They are the ones that make sure that they secure the funding for the show. They have booked venues. They've matched and paired boxers for an entertaining event. We are fortunate. We are fortunate to have Mr. Nestor Tobias. And sir, if I said it wrong, please forgive me. He's of MTC Sunshine Boxing Promotions. Um, Hopefully, he's here to talk about some of his successes and then failures so that we can actually all learn from it and try to improve African boxing. Welcome, Mr. Tobias.
Hey, well, thank you, my brother. Welcome to your show.
All right. I know you're a promoter, and that will be the focus of today. But for those who do not know about you, can you briefly tell us a little bit about yourself and what is in your involvement in boxing in general, and how long have you done it?
My name is Nestor Tobias, a boxer, a former great amateur boxer, a professional in the later stage. Of course, as a professional, I had 19 fights, and I won 15, lost 4, and draw 2. So my when I was young, and we didn't have professional boxing in Namibia. So I have to go to South Africa, neighboring country, to turn pro there, so I can. Of course, I wanted to become a world champion, but unfortunately, I could not continue boxing in a later stage when I get a shoulder injury. Then, of course, I have to come back to home. I was in South Africa maybe like 9 years, and come back to Namibia 1999. Then 2000, I start my gym where where I decided to groom boxers in Namibia because we got a great talent here in Namibia. And of course, my aim was to train and to manage boxers, you know. But now It was difficult just to train boxers because we don't have promoter in the country. So then I took out my little money I was having, and I started a promotion company. And of course, yeah, when we're talking right now, I've been promoting since 2001 actually, when my first fight was a WBA Pan Africa title, when France Rambo Anindi fought Musheri from Zimbabwe, where my boxer won. And of course, that was my first show, and that was my first champion, France Rambo Anindi. And from there, I continue promoting till, of course, now when we are talking now, already I've produced three world champion, not just world champion. I've produced world champion on WBA, that recognized sanctioning body. I produce a WBO, that's recognized boxing body. I produce a champion in the IBF, recognized organization too, and of course, and I manage also to have a unified champion, IBF, WBA, with Julius Indongo. My first world champion was Paulus Moses, who's a lightweight, and of course, my second world champion was bantamweight, WBO bantamweight. So I mean, you see, in Africa, it's very difficult to promote boxing because of the TV right. You see, in America, you promoters survive from TV right,
Hmm.
pay-per-view, so on. In Africa, we survive from an individual or your own money because like in Namibia we don't have TV right, the TV you have actually to pay the TV to come and show your fight, see, so
Hmm.
that's a different, while in other countries the TV have a sponsor and pay the promoter to put up shows, so here it's difficult, it's not different, but now a small country like Namibia with small population,
Hmm.
we are now we used to be 2.5 million. I believe now we are 3.2 million, and still a small population. But we managed to produce three world champions right here. I train them, I manage them, and I promote them. It's how we succeed, because I realize in Africa, if you want to be succeed, you must have an understanding of boxing. You must know what is training, you must know what is promotion, what is management, and so on. So you have to understand those three things. If you don't understand them, you promote only, but then your coaching staff is not doing their job, then you're just gonna fail. You see, you
Before
promote, you don't know.
before you go on, Mr. Tobias, I so this is a series that we started last week and it's going to run for a long time. The idea is to, like I said, discuss African boxing candidly, try to see if we can improve it, and then also talk about all the different aspects of boxing, including boxing management, boxer development, the administration, and of course the promotions. You have a vast experience. And I'm pretty sure we are going to bring you back on as we keep going. And so today, the promotions itself is what we are going to continue. Now, last week we discussed the logistics and event production, and we spoke about two basic things, which is the first things that I believe every promoter thinks about when they are going to have a show, which is a date and a venue. um, what I'll do is I'm going to give you a quick recap of some of the things that we spoke about, and then you can share your experience on some of these things and advise on it and how we can improve. We spoke about in terms of when you are picking a venue, the things that you want to think about, like the capacity, the amount of people that it can hold, and what you are expecting. Because, for example, you would agree that it doesn't make sense to get a venue which hosts 5,000 people if you are expecting about 500 people, right? It doesn't make your event look nice. And also things like the amenities that are supposed to be there in place, because boxers have to change, officials, the audience, they have to go and use bathroom and stuff like that, the place. So these were basic things that we were discussing, that as a promoter, you have to make sure all these things are available. And today we are going to talk a little bit more about some of the logistics. But what is your opinion on picking a venue when it comes to promotions, and what has been your experience? It sounds like you have done big shows, small shows. How did you go about it doing that?
Yeah, of course. Maybe I was fortunate because when I start my first show, like in Namibia, it's not like a country who rain too many who's rainy, we receive many rain, like
Mm-hmm.
and my first show I picked to host it outside.
Mm-hmm.
I put it next to the 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 location where the main boxer was coming from. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted them to be next to his people. So I can attract more people, and of course, was a reasonable venue. And I've been telling you, it didn't rain for maybe like 8 months. In Namibia, that period, no, that period. But the night of that fight, it rained so heavy,
Mm.
unbelievable. You see, so
Mm.
so I wanted to pick the right venue, but the
Mm-hmm.
weather it just caught me offside, and uh, and I have to now to promote to postpone. The fight was supposed to take place on Saturday, and it was raining just after
Mm.
the weigh on Friday. Then it rained the whole day, the whole night. Unbelievable. After
Mm.
8 months, it didn't rain. So that was a blessing for me, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a blessing for me. Then I have to postpone the fight the next morning. But now, the next day, I could not sell ticket because the time and everything changed.
Oof.
So it was a big loss for me. So I
Mm-hmm.
could not sell ticket anymore. Even the ticket I sell before I have to refund the people because some people could not come again on Sunday. They went to church and everything because the fight they have to take now during morning hours.
Mm.
From 10 o'clock. So people, because other people who have to travel, have to fly back and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a crazy situation. But just come to your answer. Of course, you look at your the quality of your boxer you're promoting, the popularity of the boxer before you pick a venue. So other countries, you look at you're gonna pick it like in Namibia. We got
Mm-hmm.
Windhoek, who's the capital city of Namibia. When you fight there, you look at the way your main bout is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's based in Windhoek, the
Mm-hmm.
popularity, you better take the fight to Ramatex. Ramatex is a big place where you can even host 10,000 people. It's a big
Mm-hmm.
venue. So like my last fight, I had it there at Ramatex.
Mm.
Windhoek. So because
Okay.
this kid is very popular, he fought all over the country, and it's
Mm-hmm.
well marketed. And of course, he didn't fill up the venue, but he drew a good crowd,
Mm-hmm.
and I was very very attended boxing and so on. So that was great, and of course, you look at normally when you pick a venue, like I said before, you look at the popularity of your boxer,
Mm-hmm.
and of course the safety of, like sometimes you look at the safety of the people also, the
Yes.
parking and all the thing, the security. That's so how we do it in Africa, like in Namibia.
Mm-hmm.
So otherwise now boxing is become very popular in Namibia now. Most
Mm-hmm.
boxers, they are well known. They can attract a big crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So we do it at Ramatex where we did it last time.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll do it at Vendu Country Club. Vendu Country Club is one of our resort, big hotel, and of course we can attract like maybe outside we can get up to 3,000 people. And inside you can have 1,000 people. So because we are a small population, it's not like America or Ghana or other countries. You got big venue, good great venues. So, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we are. It's how we do it, and yeah, you look at those points when you put up a fight, and of course you look at the safety of the people. Not only
Mm-hmm.
you don't even concentrate only on the money, how much you're gonna make. You must see, because you want these people also to come back tomorrow. You must say
Yes.
make sure the safety of the people, the parking, and so on. Yeah,
And
so it's how
in
you look at.
Africa, we like to invite a lot of government officials and dignitaries because sometimes they know where to get the cash and the sponsorships. So of course,
Yeah.
their safety has to be very important. Mr. Tobias, now you mentioned a lot of um, boxers. It sounds like even though Namibia is a small country, you've had uh, you've had world champions. Now, I would go a little bit there. We talk a little bit about, because I think there's a gem in there about how you guys have been able to do it when bigger countries who may have the resources and the talent are not able to. But so that we don't deviate from the discussion, we want to continue with the logistic management. One of the things that is important besides the venue, when you are talking about event production, is transportation. And transportation for not just the boxers, but also the officials and then the attendees. I do remember in Ghana, we've had shows that are outside the capital city of Accra, and the promoter has had to bus the officials to go there. You spoke about, depending on the popularity of the boxer and where they are very popular, um, you have to do the event there because that's where people are going to come. In Namibia and in general, would you encourage, is that what you guys do in terms of transporting officials to go there? And is this something that African promoters should consider in their budget when they are doing it, not the central place that is normally done?
Yeah, definitely. When you are promoter, when you're promoting a show,
Mhm,
everybody is in your budget. You have even most of our officials, especially in the beginning, we have to import the professional officials from South Africa, and
mhm,
of course we have to give them accommodation. We
mhm,
have to give them meals, of course,
mhm,
transport, air and ground transport.
mhm,
So everybody follow the promoter's budget, including boxers and officials. It's just the challenge is only gonna come here when you book them in hotels, especially when it's a title fight. You most of time you the sanctioning body, they always make sure they tell you that they at least try to book the official a different hotel, not with the boxer,
mhm,
or like that. And of course, when you take them to the venue, make sure the officials they got their own car, private transport, and of
mhm,
course the boxers in the other car. They must not travel with the officials. Most of the time it's like that, and that's
mhm,
is how I do it also. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we promoter have to assist with transport, or we have to transport everybody, including the sanctioning body. When the WBO come here, or
mhm,
WBA, IBF come to Namibia, I have to
mhm.
transport them. That's my duty. That's the promoter duty. Those one.
And as you said, it's not just transportation, definitely where they will sleep and
Yes.
what they will eat.
Yes.
Sometimes um uh, one of our viewers said your face is not showing. I guess they want to see who is talking. Like it's dark. It's dark in there.
Yeah,
But
I'm in
one,
a car. I'm in a
yeah,
car.
yeah,
Yeah, I just want to be nice, private inside the car.
got
Yeah.
you. One, food is very important, accommodation definitely, and it is one of the biggest cost when you are doing promotions, especially if some of the boxers are coming from outside the country. You have to fly them in, and so one of the things I have realized in Africa is we sometimes with promoters do not want to spend the money, which eventually also affects what kind of boxes we are building. Because sometimes you have to actually go outside your country to get quality opponents to test your boxes, but that also helps them in terms of moving up the ladder. So I think that these logistics things, transportation, accommodation, food for the boxers, for the officials, And also, you have to also think about the attendees, which I'll go there in a second. There are things that you have to, if you want to do quality boxing, definitely budget for. I think that's essentially what Mr. Tobias said when he invites people from, he's doing a WBO, he actually pays for these officials. And Mr. Tobias, promotions is not cheap, is it?
No, promotion is very expensive. Like I say, especially in Africa,
Mm-hmm.
you have to use your own funds
Mm-hmm.
to put this guy, the boxers, in a rating.
Mm-hmm.
Because because uh because if you want just to do whole fights,
Mm-hmm.
maybe just local boxers and so on,
Mm-hmm.
of course, you're not gonna get anywhere. You do boxing for fun. But if you do serious business boxing, you have to make sure your boxers get quality opponents from outside. You know, we normally we targeting now South Africa, Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria. So we get our quality opponents there. And it help us a lot because
Mm-hmm.
we end up always getting our boxers in the rating because Ghana, you got quality boxers. You got boxers like in the top 100. South Africa got boxer in the top 100. Then you got Tanzania. Then you got Nigeria. It's,
Mm-hmm.
it's where we hand our opponents. So and it helps us, like I say now that it make us even to be. It's why I've been winning Africa Promoter of the Year because I've been put up great shows and I've been uniting all the African boxers to come to Namibia. And of course, it's why when you talk to boxing in Africa, of course, most people they know me now. They know me in Ghana, they know me in South Africa, in Nigeria, and so on. So, but now the challenge is here. So if we have TV rights,
Mm-hmm.
we have TV rights. Even this, when Ghana come and fight in Namibia, you
Mm-hmm.
know, so this fight is just be shown now. Now this is this stream live, this
Mm-hmm.
link.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Mm-hmm.
give a
Mm-hmm.
link now. It's easier now to display this fight over.
Mm-hmm. I think I think I may be losing Mr. Tobias. Um, we'll see when he comes back on. But basically, what the man is saying is that promotions is not cheap, and especially if you want to build quality fighters and you're a promoter, you got to spend. You got to bring in quality opponents. So this is how you tie in. Let me see if he's back on. Are you with us? Sir, are you back? Are you with us, Mr. Tobias? All right. So while we wait for him, what he's saying is very simple. Almost everything ties in into the end goal. Unless, like he said, you are just doing it for entertainment, then you are not going to invest. But if you have to bring in a quality opponent for your boxer from, if you are doing it in Namibia and you want to bring it from Ghana or Nigeria or South Africa, Uganda, any of Tanzania, any of the African countries, of course, besides their purse, you have to pay for their transportation, airplane, hotel, what they are going to eat. It is expensive. It is very expensive. So, but the end will justify the means, right? Because the better boxer your fighter fights, the higher they go. The better boxer they fight, the higher they go. So it costs a lot. Sometimes we do promotions in Africa, and local fighters fight local fighters. They get the wins, but you take them outside, and the promoters or people that you are putting your fighter in front of are looking at you like, oh, who did he beat? And that is because we don't want to invest in promotions. And we're talking about, when we talk about logistics, we haven't even spoken about fighter purse and the matchmaking and all the other good things, subtopics in terms of promotions. We're just talking about the basics, logistics. You have to pay not only for your the opponent's transport airplane if they are quality coming from outside, their coach. Sometimes they come with one or more. You have to pay for that. You talking about at minimum 3 nights of hotel stay, and that is not cheap, especially in some of the current economies in Ghana, Africa right now. So it's an investment, but those are all things that you have to. And that besides that, the boxer and his team, the officials coming. We're talking about, for example, the commissioner. If it's a WBO Africa title, Mr. Samir Kapitan will be there. You have to pay for his plane ticket, where he's going to stay, what he's going to eat. And then the officials too need to be paid. We're talking about recently, I looked at numbers for one of the sanctioning bodies, which I wouldn't mention, but one of the four major sanctioning bodies. And when you look at how much the sanctioning fee is, how much you are paying the officials, how much you are paying the commissioner, the belt, adding it to the opponent, what the opponent is charging, um, you talking, and that is just the sanctioning and the opponent. You talking easily over $12,000-15,000. Promotions, promoting your fighter, putting him where he needs to be is not cheap. So when we are doing African boxing and we are doing promotions, we got to consider all of that, because at the end, if you do, for lack of better word, poor job in the beginning, you end up with poor results. That's why sometimes our boxers don't go anywhere. Early this morning, I posed the question of why there are only 18 boxers from the whole of Africa in who have qualified for the Olympics. Why is that? Because the standard, the fundamentals are missing. What are we actually putting into them for it to happen? I'm going to try and get Mr. Tobias back. Before I continue, we are being sponsored by Afro Lounge. Afro Lounge is a lounge in Ghana, located inside La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. They are open Thursdays through Sunday. If you want an exclusive place to take your significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, your friend, you want to check Afro Lounge out. Very secluded, to enjoy your night without any noise. So let's take a word from them, and then we'll continue. All right. We're still missing Mr. Tobias, but while we let me see, we try to get him back on. I just want to that we have okay. I think he's coming up. While we wait for him. Um, I want to say that we have a two shows that are happening, or two Africans that I'm aware of that are fighting this weekend. They are fighting this weekend, and I just want to wish them well. Yeah, in case you didn't know, Nigerian based Ghanaian based Joshua Oluwaseun Wahab is actually fighting this weekend. He's on the undercards of um, Usyk, Usyk and Fury. He's on the other card of Usyk and Fury fighting Chamberlain. Um, so please, if you don't know, check it out. He's going to be there. He's only African on the bill. He's going to be holding high the flag of Africa. Joshua Oluwaseun Wahab. Joshua, all the best this weekend. Also, um, in France, next week we have a Ghanaian who is also lacing up his gloves. It's going to be exciting. It's Kofi. If you don't know him, you wanna check him out. He's been training. In fact, we may interview him this week on our show here. So stay tuned, talking about his preparation and what he's looking up to. So I mean, Africans are we are doing our best. We can do better. But it all starts from the fundamentals. It all starts from fundamentals. All right. If you are joining us, you're just joining us. This is African Boxing Unmasked, episode 2, where we want to criticize African boxing and expose it, and hopefully we learn from it and improve on it. It's not to wash our dirty laundry in the open or anything like that. That is not the goal. But if you don't talk about the issues, you cannot fix it. So before Mr. Tobias went off, we were discussing how promotions is very costly. If you want to do it, you have to do it well. He was going to hit on something that eventually we are going to talk about it, which is sponsorship and TV rights and all the good things that have really made boxing more attractive for promoters in the West that we are lacking in Africa. But we'll be talking more about it later. Later. So next week, we will get a word from Mr. Tobias shortly. But next week, we are going to talk about one big aspect of promotions, and that is essentially, besides um, the audience, I should say, that's really what makes a boxing event a boxing event. We're going to talk about the boxers. We're going to talk about matchmaking. We're going to talk about matchmaking. I am particularly excited about matchmaking. Yes, I did say I like the production, but I'm particularly excited about matchmaking because I think it's one of the places that Africa can improve a lot. Next week, we're going to delve more into it. If we are lucky, we may have a guest matchmaker who's done this for a long time, share the experiences of matchmaking, especially in Africa, and how we can improve it. The matchmaking can make or break your event. If you don't believe me, if you don't believe me, go back recently to an event that was done in Ghana recently. Matchmaking, the wrong matchmaking can make or break your event. And next week we talk about matchmaking. I'll try and get some, because the idea is that we are going to improve African boxing. We're going to try and get some old, or should I say, seasoned matchmakers on who are known to the turf, and then hopefully we'll get a younger matchmaker on as well. Because at some point we have to pass the batons on. I do not think we will get Mr. Tobias back. I do not think we will get Mr. Tobias back. I wanted him to give his last word before we end the show. Like always, this show is supposed to be quick, 30 minutes. We don't want to lose our audience. But I wanted our guest to give us his last words, but it doesn't seem like he is going to be able to because of technical issues. But I will do that. So, just a quick recap from next week to this week. If you are joining us, new African Boxing Unmasked, we are going to talk over the several months. It will take probably about about 4 or 6 months to complete the series. But we're going to take boxing in Africa, different aspects of it, promotions, marketing, boxer development, boxer management, all of that. And under each of this, we will go into it. Right now, we are talking about promotions, and we are just touching the surface of promotions, where we talk about event production and logistics. We have spoken about venue, choosing, date choosing, and today we spoke a little bit more about logistics in terms of transportation, accommodation, food for officials, for the athletes, the boxers themselves. These are all things that you have to do it right. It can be very costly, but you have to do it right. I would just say that um, next week we'll try and bring Mr. Tobias back to give us his final word. But I just want to say something that we didn't touch on. All these logistics things are also important for your attendees. Don't just focus on the boxers and your officials, the attendees. They have to be able to easily get there to the event. And I can attest to it that there have been some promotions that have been done specifically in Ghana that people did not go because the event location was very far from the people that actually watch boxing. So you have to think about your attendees and your audience when you are thinking about some of these logistics and transportation. Food, they have to be able to, boxing events can be very long. So they have to be able to get up and buy some food. If you do a show and there is no food vendor or no drinks or anything like that, they probably may not come back and pay you to watch your shows. So that's very important. And of course, if they are coming from far from outside the area, they have to have a place to sleep. One of the things I have realized that when we are doing shows in Africa, or especially for what I've been involved in, I've never really thought about accommodation for the attendees. And that is because we are always thinking, oh, those that are around are going to be the only ones that are going to watch. If you want to spread your web bigger, you have to think about who is coming, and where they are going to sleep, how they are going to get there, what they are going to eat. So I just wanted to put that out there. And with that said, I'm going to end the show for today. We'll see you next week. We'll talk about matchmaking. But hey, if this is your first time catching us on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe. If it is your first time catching us on Facebook, please follow. This show is brought to you by a collaboration between Ace TV Boxing and K Box TV. And we're going to do this. It's not all about entertainment. We got to learn something, and especially focusing on African boxing now. Don't forget this weekend, catch Joshua Wahab on in Riyadh. He's going to be on the undercard. Grab your drinks, grab your chicken, whatever you are doing, prepare, watch some boxing. And also, there is history in the making. When I say history in the making, I think everybody knows what I mean, because it's undisputed heavyweight championship. You cannot beat that undisputed heavyweight championship. History will be made. So please make sure you catch some. It's going to be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. We may do a post-fight show as well. So subscribe, follow, so that you hear our thoughts on this. Again, this is African Boxing Unmasked. Thanks for joining us. It was a pleasure listening to me, I believe, listening to Tobias sharing some gems in African boxing. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.